What's good, people? We're back. 12 man's back. We've got Let's Talk Ball. And one of the best shows that I like doing on a Thursday. I think everyone enjoys this one. Thursday, 4 p.m. We're here. It's myself, it's George, it's Hooks. We got Jamie, Wolfie, Sava back from his holiday, as you can tell. I mean, he wouldn't know, would you, looking at him? And Joe as well. Big up. There's no Cal today. Cal's busy out at a conference. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's trying to be important, bless him. But yeah, we'll have him back next week, I am sure. We're going to be talking Nuno. We're going to be talking Ange. I don't know what I can hear in the background. Someone's beeping. I don't know if it's my mic or someone else's, but yeah, it's gone now. I think. Has it gone?
Can't hear it.
I can hear it.
Anyone hear it beeping?
I can still hear it.
Is it me?
Don't know who it is. It's gone now. Is someone?
Yeah.
I don't know, but we're good. But big up to everyone that's here. Make sure you do me a favor. Hit like, hit subscribe. Make sure you're following every single person on this panel. And make sure you're following OK Jerseys. Links in the description. Make sure you go over to them. You can get any retro shirt you want. You can either get last season shirt like I'm wearing now. You can get the season shirt that is just in now, home, away, and third kit. And you can get internationals as well. I'm hearing this beeping again, by the way.
Yeah, same, man. It's like a fax
It might be
machine,
me. Let me
man.
leave and come out.
It sounds like a printer or something like that, don't it?
Yeah,
Let me go on mute. Is it me?
I don't know who it is. It's definitely gone now, though. So yeah, it's you, Wolfie, I think. Yeah, come back in, bro. So look, we're gonna. I'm just only one place to start, isn't there? Really, the Ange situation. Nuno.
I thought he was going to say his accent.
Nuno being out and being in. I've had so many messages. Wolfie's getting it. Wolfie's getting it. And I think it's only fair, seeing as he's just jumped off, to start with the Spurs lads about this, because I do feel like there's a lot of Tottenham Hotspur fans that had no interest in Nottingham Forest until they met Wolfie. And now all of a sudden, he is the new manager of Nottingham Forest. And it does make me laugh, because I personally was on Wolfie's show last night and I said, I don't think this is a good appointment at all. In fact, I think it's a horrific appointment. And, you know, I had done quite a lot of content with Sava in the last 3 years, maybe even 4 years. And I've never seen Sava this angry about a manager before. So I think it's absolutely hilarious that he is now the Nottingham Forest boss. I had no idea where to put Nottingham Forest in the Premier League prediction table. I did have them floating around, let me check, 10th, 11th. It's up on my wall here. And I have no idea if that's too high or not high enough now. I don't know what we're going to get here. And unfortunately, we're going to find out pretty soon, because obviously on Saturday, they play us at the Emirates. George, it's only fair I start with you, my bro. What would you like to sort of give a sort of overall introduction into Ange Postecoglou's appointment at Nottingham Forest?
Well, more than anything, sorry, my cat's room. More than anything,
Did you say your cat opened your door?
Yeah, the formed in. I don't even know how. Look,
How the hell does a cat
That's a
open
clever
your door?
one. That's a clever cat.
Just bombed into it. But no, look, more than anything, I'm just happy. I'm so happy it's Wolfie that's got to deal with that. I'm so happy it's Wolfie. You know what I mean? All season. Remember coming on these shows, every time we lost, I hated it, because I'd have this show on a Thursday, and on Monday, me and Wolfie used to do a show. And every time he'd come in with the cheeky smug, like, oh, you Ange out, yeah? You Ange out, yeah? Oh, are you going to be in now? Oh, well, we're going to be asking you those questions now, Wolfie. You get to enjoy It's Just Who We Are, mate. You get to enjoy Hardline for Life and all of that stuff, the crazy football that goes on. And to be fair, look, to give it to Wolfie, you've been watching bad football as it is. So this might actually be a breath of fresh air for you. You might enjoy Ange ball in comparison to Nuno, because you actually like shopping our bins. I know you tried to deny it, but you've shopped in our bin twice now. You know, we dished off Nuno, you went and scooped him up. We've dished off Ange, and the first thing you do is go and scoop him up. So look, I've
Brennan Johnson, Morgan Gibbs-White.
Do you know what? And it might even work out for us even better, because who wanted Brennan Johnson? Postecoglu. So if he comes back with a 60 million bid next summer, we always win. Yeah, we always win this time, Wolfie. But more than anything, without me being unbiased, I think this is a good appointment. I think the level of manager he is matches the level of club they are. The level of ambition he has probably matches the level of ambition they've got.
Wow.
And if you're looking at somebody to entertain the fans, and you know, just keep them going, you know, because let's have it right. Nottingham Forest don't mind if they lose a game 4-2 and they had fun. They just want to go there and know their team was punching out and actually giving it a go. Spurs, there's pressure on. You've got to win every single game. And if you're not, and you're finishing 7th or 8th, it's a bit tough. You finish 8th with Nottingham Forest.
Bro, you finished 17th, George. What is
He
this?
got sacked for it, Joe. He got sacked for it.
This is crazy, man. Where's this chest coming from?
He got sacked for it. What are we going to do? Wait, what are we doing? So the way I see it is if he finishes 9th, 10th, even 8th with Nottingham Forest, that's a good season for him. That's a good season for him. So, look, for the level of club they are and the level of manager he is, it's a match made in heaven.
Wow. Before I bring Wolfie back in, man, let me ask Sava about his thoughts of this, because like Sava messaged me like, I can't believe Nuno's going, and then we saw the links to Ange, and it was just a load of those eyes. Like we just couldn't believe I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But Sava, what do you say off the back of what George has said, man?
I'm happy for Forest. I'm happy for them. Look, I genuinely don't know what to say about it from the point of view of that. Look, you know, Wolfie told us for a long time should have kept Ange. Ange did a good job. All of this, so listen. This for me isn't going to be about any sort of banter or back and forth. At the end of the day, let's see how they feel. One thing for sure, it won't be boring for them. I feel like a lot of their fans were saying like the whole thing with Nuno, it was quite boring in press conferences and stuff. It won't be boring for them. Ange will give them some big wins for sure. He'll give them some big wins and he'll give them some terrible, terrible defeats as well. So let's see. I'm interested to see, has he learned, Dan? If I try and take away from the banter side of it, has he learned? Does he come in and straight away implement what he did at Spurs? If he does, the Forest fans are going to hate it. If he does, the Forest fans are going to go from being a very well organised, well drilled defence to a complete utter shambles. Which, when it works, it works. You know, when you get the big win, like George, we had some big wins, right? When you get those big wins, it's great. But the 8-9 games in between the big wins, when you're getting ripped open at the back, was really tough. So I suppose it depends. Has he learned? He's taken the exact same coaching team with him. Wolfie messaged me yesterday, didn't you, Wolfie? When Sav, are these the 5 coaches that he had at Spurs? I said, yes. This is
the manager's a different guy. That like is a different guy. He looks like Portuguese or something like that. Brazilian guy.
No, he was at Spurs, wasn't he? He was at Spurs according to
because I don't know. He might have been a part of the squad, but he wasn't an assistant manager. Like, I don't think.
He wasn't an assistant manager. But they've got the same backroom staff. Look, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be interesting to see. Listen, he relied a lot on that high line. He relied on that because he had Mickey van der Ven, who's, if I'm not wrong, the quickest player in the Premier League, right? So he had that to get him out of trouble. Murillo and Milenkovic, I genuinely feel, I think we should all just take 30 seconds of silence and pray for their hamstrings, because this is going to be interesting. But if he gets it right, I don't know. I don't think they'll. I'll finish on this. I don't think they'll finish as high as last year. I think they won't have the consistency. I think they're going to have some great moments. I really think they're going to have some great moments. I reckon they'll have a good 2 months. I think Arsenal will batter them, but after that, I think they'll have a good couple of months. Everyone will be going mad. Spurs fans will be going, "Oh, bring back Ange" and all that. And then I think the fans at Forest will start to see that there's no real strategy, there's no real plan, there's no defensive responsibility. But I'm sure they'll have a good cup run, right? So, enjoy.
What if Ange is actually just good at Nottingham Forest though?
Sure.
That's like you know, like some managers, it don't click for them for some reason at certain clubs, and they just go to a club and it just things click and it works for them. So I agree with what Sava's saying about, you know, where it didn't click right for him at Tottenham, the way he played in the style and the tactics and stuff like that. But, you know, he's still, you know, Tottenham and Celtic are the 2 biggest clubs he's ever managed. And he's quite young still in the game. And he's learning all the time. Coaches always learn. Maybe
you do know he's going to coach in the 90s. He's not.
I know, but I mean, like in Europe, big clubs in Europe. Like, and I mean, I could coach in Australia, But and he's going to Forest now, and he's going to learn. There's no way in hell, surely, he's going to carry on with the same mistakes he did at Tottenham. So I hope you would think he's going to learn a little bit from them mistakes. Take him to Forest.
Jamie, it's who we are, mate. It's who we are. Mate.
That's the thing, Dan. He says it himself. It's just
I don't know. I don't know. It could click. It could click and it works. And for some reason, whatever it is, it works at Nottingham Forest. Yeah. And then he goes somewhere else and it doesn't work. It's just weird. Football's like that sometimes.
Question for you,
Jamie, do you know the funny thing? The funny thing for me though is I keep seeing like on TalkSport and all these different things on YouTube that Forest want a better style of play and Forest want attack.
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, attack football. Yeah.
And I'll say this: after the first 3 months of Ange, there wasn't good football. Spurs did not play this myth that we played good, attacking, entertaining football. It was wide open, gung ho. So I'm really listen.
It was naive football, wasn't it?
I don't think we scored as much goals about the quality of attack as we had, like the James Madison song. We wouldn't have scored nowhere near as many goals.
You had injuries, mate.
Do you reckon Forest though are maybe?
Oh wait, Wolfie, you're making injuries. You're making excuses for us.
I'm reminding you what you were saying. I'm reminding you what you were saying.
No, you're making an excuse.
No. I'm
reminding
you. Reminding you when you were Ange in, you were pulling the injury card. So let's not forget, George.
Almost 9 months.
What do you think to George's claims, Wolfie, about it's good for you, it's good for a club like Forest, and it's good for that. It's not good for Tottenham, but for Forest, it's all good.
Yeah, I'd start by saying, big up to Sava. He's the only Spurs fan who seems to remember that I said they should have kept Ange because factually he is their most successful manager in any of the Spurs YouTubers' lifetime. So let's not beat around the bush. And he is their most successful manager in the last 40 odd years since they last won. I don't know. What did you win back there, George? Cup Winners' Cup or whatever it was in Europe.
Well,
so
we actually have the most UEFA Cups and, European trophy, or whatever you want to
but you would agree he is your most successful manager in your lifetime.
Yeah, but again, do you know what? I'm finding it confusing because you're making the point that at the end of the season you said that, but all throughout the season we were doing shows, you said he should have been sacked. So I don't get your point. So you flip-flopped. You flip-flopped. During the season when we were doing this same show, you would say, bro, he's not good enough. He's this, he's that, sack him. Why is he not sacked yet? And then at the end of the season, you said when he won something, we should have kept him because he's successful now. He's won something.
Yeah, winning trophies changes perceptions. Let's be real here, okay? And the fact is that you sit here shamelessly, George, talking and saying what you just did. When you know in your heart of hearts, he has given you basically your biggest hard-on in your lifetime last summer. Let's be real here. Definitely, bro.
Definitely not.
Okay. No other manager did that for you. No other manager did that.
No, you are right about that. No manager
just Ange did that. Just Ange. So, people saying I look like him, so don't stare at me too hard, right? But anyway.
But
huh?
That's mental. I won't lie, you're on a lava thing at the moment, bro. Yeah,
because you got to bring some perspective into George's delusion. You really do.
You're the delusional one, Wolfie. I'm very confused with your delusion because you've now flip-flopped to the point that you're making excuses for Tottenham for last season. That's what you're doing.
I did not.
You're now
trying
to find anything.
I remember asking you, Ange, and you're like, not yet. He's got injuries. We're injury FC. I'm a gal with a do-rag on and all that stuff. You were doing all of that back then, right?
Again,
so let's not rewrite history.
No, when was this? Tell me when this was. Yeah,
foul back in January. You were still in December. You were still in. We were still having these conversations, and you would come on and you'd be like, "I'm not doing the Ange in, Ange out thing. I've told you injuries. I've told you this. I've told you the other, right?" And then you flip-flopped. So you were the
flip-flop. Is that as the injuries came back? No, but what you don't get is that you evaluate stuff as they're going on, Wolfie. As the injuries came back, Spurs didn't improve. So then we all sat there and said that the injuries don't make a problem. Whether we have injuries or not, there's no difference in the football or the system. He's the problem. The one person was Ange. And do you know what? It's fine. Like, again, I wanted to ask Jamie a question because Jamie said if it clicks at Nottingham Forest, what for you, if it clicks, how high is that ceiling? What's the ceiling of Forest?
We just sliding past Dugal. That's what we're doing. Just sliding past.
I don't even care.
Exactly.
That's just semantics.
Do you know?
I don't know. To be fair, top six maybe. I'm not sure because it's going to be hard for anyone to compete with 3 or 4 clubs in this league anyway, no matter what they do right now. So top 6, constant top 6 team. You keep building and building and building and building. Maybe that's where you start.
Do you know what I don't get? And I've been on many shows and I've watched many shows, and this topic really fries my head. And why aren't Spurs fans happy for him? I don't understand why there seems to be a level of like vitriol towards the manager and mocking Forest when the guy just less than 6 months ago won you a European trophy, got you in the Champions League that's enabled you to get Thomas Frank, to get the players like Xavi Simons, etc. And all we're doing is, he's a clown. Oh, he's this. I'm really, honestly, I need to understand why there isn't a thing of, look, he was shit in the league, but he won us a European trophy. He's not our manager anymore. Good luck. But all I'm seeing is just like, he's shit, he's this, he's that, and I can't compute it.
Because winning that
they had
trophy,
12
I'm
months
sure
of
Sava
it,
would
Joe.
tell you
They had
as well.
12 months of it, Joe.
But he won them a European trophy, Dan.
No,
They've
but
had
Joe,
40 years of it, Dan.
I'm
What are you
sure
talking
Sava-
about? What's
Sava,
another
most
12
Spurs
months?
fans will tell you that was the minimum expectation next season, was lift that trophy.
But you say
so
that.
when we started the season, we all expected to win that Europa League. So
but you can't expect when you don't win.
But we can expect, because for one,
You
we've won the
can't.
European trophy before, and 2, the European, again, you guys have all pointed out how the structure of the Europa League changed. So we pointed at that opportunity. We was the best team. We were favourites from the start of the competition. You do know that.
Joint favourites.
favourites from the start of the season. So if we were
'Cause you've still got
favourites
to
and
do
he's
it, bro.
won, it's like you get a pat on the back for what he done, but it's not like, wow, you done something so
Pat
amazing.
on the
You
back.
haven't won a trophy.
Like you won the trophy that you was
Yes.
expected to win. Thank you.
Can I ask? Listen, I don't think, I haven't seen anyone calling him a clown.
You haven't watched enough shows, Sava.
Listen, Joe, I've been concentrating on my tan, man. Give me a little bit of a
understandable,
break, all right?
bro.
I've been
It's
working on a tan. No, look. For me, at the end of the day, I think where this comes down to is, listen, I'd say good luck to the bloke, but genuinely, I don't care what he does at Nottingham Forest. Like, you know, the words "good luck" are always used quite flippantly. I don't care. I think more of this comes from, Joe, is that lots of people gave us loads and loads and loads of shit for the last 2 years of how open we were under Postecoglou, how poor we were, how many goals we conceded. From my point of view, I'm not going to sit here and pretend. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and say, oh my God, I loved him because he won us a trophy. He gave me 2 years of absolute shite. So, yeah, you can say, yeah, he won a European Cup. Yeah, we scrambled over the line by putting 10 men behind the ball. Brilliant. Great. Thank you for that. But the problem is, Joe, that for the last 18 months of his tenure at Tottenham, he had the worst record of any Tottenham manager there's ever been at the football club. The most number of defeats I've ever seen, the most number of goals I've ever seen conceded. You know, the win ratio was the lowest I've ever seen, points per game. So I think you've got to weigh it up. Yeah, thanks for the trophy.
Yeah.
For me, this is why people go, oh, he won you a trophy, you're ungrateful. Not ungrateful, but I'd rather have not won that trophy than watch the 2 years of crap that I watched.
Can I ask you a question then?
Yeah.
What's the minimum Frank needs to achieve this season for it to be a better season than last?
Brilliant question.
I think this season he needs to get us out of the Champions League stages. He needs to get us into the knockout stages. I think he needs to finish in the top 5, 6 for me. 6th is where I've got us at the moment after the summer. I think I've got a 6th, 7th with injuries, 5th if everything is perfect. And I think he needs to build and get an actual team that looks like a team and go into next season. So for me, I don't think it's about 1 year of what he does.
And also, Joe, it don't make sense to compare Ange's second year to Frank's first year. That's just
he didn't. He just asked what.
No. I know, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't. But I'm just saying in general, it wouldn't make sense to do that comparison anyway.
Well, if he does, he better get better.
He wouldn't need to have a better year. My point is, he doesn't need to improve on Ange's second year because it's his first year. He needs to just do what he needs to do in his first year.
So he needs to get better than 5th then.
And 5th.
He needs to do better than. He needs to
No,
do
well,
better.
I don't agree with that. It was George who said that.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
agree.
I'm
I'm
saying
just
he needs to
asking
do-
you. It wasn't
No,
about
what
that
I'm
question.
what I'm saying is Frank in his second season needs to do better than what Frank does in his first season. He doesn't need to focus on what Ange done. Whatever Ange done was different season.
I don't
No,
see.
I
I
was just
don't see
asking
the
a question.
comparison. For me, Joe, to answer that, I don't see the comparison. I think forever we're always going this manager v that manager. At the end of the day, this is different. This manager's got to come in, put his own stamp on it, and he's got to make sure that we go in that direction. For me,
For what
But
it's
is it-
worth, I
what-
think Thomas Frank
to
streets
answer that-
ahead. 100%.
Yeah, no, I think Thomas Frank is much better than Ange
Yeah,
Postecoglou personally, right? However, when I look at it, I think what Joe's getting at is you've won a trophy. How do you better that this season? I think that's what it is. And if your answer to that,
necessarily think we do, Dan. I don't necessarily think we will. You've got to remember the trophy we won last year. We don't have the opportunity to win that trophy again this year.
Fair,
We're playing at the, we're not at the kids' table. We're sitting at the adults' table. If you will.
but your answer, Sava, isn't he has to win a trophy this year. Your answer
No,
is he
no,
needs
no,
to
no,
build and
no.
to
Listen,
get us back in the Champions League, that kind of thing. Okay.
no, I want to see my team looking like a football team again. I want to see that over the course of this year that we see what is he building? What does the team look like? How are we building? How are we growing? Look, I think the problem that we've had this chat before, Dan. The problem is every football club wants to judge their manager on trophies, and I get it. I absolutely get it. But how many are there? Like, do you know what I mean? How many are there? For me, Liverpool should be winning everything. If I'm brutally honest, looking at what they've spent, Liverpool should be winning everything. And if they don't win everything, at least domestically, then Slot's had a stinker. Sorry to move it on to Liverpool. I think Arsenal have got a better squad than Tottenham, Man City, Chelsea, Newcastle, and Villa are still there. So I don't think there's a given right to win a trophy. And
Villa's
also
not
the two trophies that we could win this year, we're not going to be playing the teams we played to win the Europa League. That's what I don't think a lot of people take into account. To win, who did Palace have to beat to win the FA Cup? Who did Newcastle have to beat to win the League Cup? They weren't playing Bodo Glimt. Do you know what I mean? They weren't playing the worst Man United ever. They weren't playing AZ Alkmaar. They were playing, I mean, Newcastle beat Arsenal, Liverpool, if I'm not wrong, Chelsea, I want to say they're knocked out as well. If I might be making that bit up, but
Palace beat Millwall, Preston, I think.
Well, yeah, but Palace beat Villa and Man City in the semis and the finals to win it. Spurs didn't have to pay anyone near as good as Villa or Man City to win the Europa League. So
we're not just discrediting him though for the sake.
I
of
feel that you're right, Joe. There is a lot of
Discrediting who?
discrediting going on the trophy.
Ange by just saying, "Oh, well, it's like when people used to throw shade at Southgate. I don't like it. You've got to beat who's put in front of you.
Joe, I didn't mention Ange.
No, but you're on about the shit teams that you faced in order to win it.
No, hang on. Before we do this YouTube thing of penciling,
I'm not doing a YouTube thing. I'm just
hang on.
And by the way, you are on YouTube.
The conversation was about Thomas Frank and what he needs to do this year. And what I said was this year is that he's not gonna if Tottenham have a cup run in the league or FA Cup where we play this similar level of teams, win it. But more often than not, you're going to have to come up against a Chelsea, a Newcastle, a City, a Liverpool, or Arsenal. And if that is the case, then I don't expect that Spurs just rock up and beat all of these teams. I just don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're there. It's not anything.
I feel like the expectations in the Spurs fan base is digression is okay. Even if you compare to what Ange did in his first year, which was finish 5th, I would argue your squad this season is stronger than the squad he had when he finished 5th. Therefore, I find it weird.
But the Premier League is stronger.
Yeah, but so is everyone else, Wolfie.
Wolfie, what you're trying to do is you're trying to conflate 2 points to be the same. Yes, our squad is stronger, but at the same time, the Premier League as a whole is way stronger. The top teams are way better, and the mid-level teams are a bit weaker. Last season, it's a different scenario as well. Like every season, it's looking very
easy.
But to say it should be very easy, we both predict 5th or 6th, both me and Sava, so we have that in our predictions. But whether it's very easy or very hard doesn't really make a difference.
Wait,
he's done a very good job.
We're 1 or 2 injuries away from being a 7th or 8th team. To be like this, I think it all hangs in a balance. If Spurs go through the season without injuries, I fully expect top 6, 5th. If we go without injuries, we get a couple of injuries. Our squad is light. I don't think people realize this. Our squad is light, very light, very, very light. So,
But it was like last year. It was like the year before. You lost Harry Kane, didn't you, when he came?
the year
came in,
before it
if I
wasn't.
remember.
The year before it
Who's
wasn't like
alive?
Wolfie. You've got to get your facts right. The year before it wasn't like we played one game a week. The year before we played one game a week. This last year Europa League. This year we're in the Champions League.
It was Ange's
It's-
first season with 2 games a week, and also what I think you're forgetting, Wolfie, is we lost like what Sava said. We had a bigger squad the year before. We sold bare players and only brought in 4. We got rid of like Højbjergs, all these fringe players that you probably wouldn't expect to have much of an impact, but they were squad players.
Danish, bro.
We didn't replace any of these players. So we brought in 3 or 4 players, and the players we did bring in was only Solanke that was ready to compete with the first team. The other 3 were Archie Gray, Bergvall, and Odebert. 3 young players that had an impact into the Europa League, but not a massive impact. So, like, the squad wasn't bigger.
I gotta say, I agree with Joe. I think I'm not talking about you boys. In general, the Spurs fans are very disrespectful to what Ange did for you. Whether you want to say 22 losses in the league, whatever, his memory, his legacy at Spurs will be remembered down the generations as he won you the Europa League. He won you your
Says
first
you who
trophy
doesn't.
since 08.
Says you who doesn't support.
Support
Tottenham
Spurs. It doesn't make
Hotspur, though.
sense.
This is the thing, Wolfie. When listen to that
Bro,
sentence you just
all
said
managers
there.
are remembered
No, but
for
hang
their
on, hang on,
trophies
Wolfie,
on a
Wolfie,
legacy basis.
Wolfie, listen to that sentence you just said, right? 22 defeats or whatever. 22 defeats is fucking huge. Like, that is huge. I reckon if you added Arsenal, Liverpool, right, and Forest together, I bet all 3 of your teams last year didn't get to 22 league defeats between the 3 of your clubs.
Did you go to that
Wolfie.
Europa League final? Anyone? Sava?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that wasn't to say. I'm just saying that. So let me frame it a
memory.
different way then. Where did you watch the Europa League final?
At home.
On
Watch
YouTube.
along.
With friends?
We both done watch-alongs.
Oh, you did watch on. Oh, right, okay. The emotion you felt though, right, when you lifted that trophy on that watch along, far outshadowed 22 losses that season.
No.
Exactly.
No.
Sava can
No.
say that. George can't. Sava can say that. George.
No, listen.
Yeah, I
in
agree.
The,
I
in,
agree.
the, in the
You're right.
moment,
You're right.
Joe, in that day was absolutely euphoric. It was amazing. It was brilliant. But when you think that this is the thing as well, you can say 22 defeats. Wolfie can say it. I can go back to the previous December. I can go from December 2023 to May of 2025. Yeah. For those 18 months, it was the worst Tottenham I've seen for the number of defeats, the number of points gained, points per game, goals conceded. Everything was terrible. So in that moment, it was like, God, yes, euphoria. We've won a trophy. Brilliant. Thank you, Ange. But he lost 36 games in an 18-month period. 36 games, Joe.
What's your end goal, Sava? What's your end goal?
Not to be 17th and lose 22. 20.
Okay,
Do you know
don't give
what?
me the negative
You've
of
done a
your end
great
goal.
job,
Give
Wolfie,
me
on
the
the
actual
flag.
I'll take
objectives of your end
17th
goal.
and staying up.
Sure, but that's the difference. So my objective is for a manager to do almost what Poch did, and then for the owners to take over and let that and push us on. My objective is
do what?
to get a team,
To push you on to do what?
to push
Well,
us
but
on
wait,
to
wait.
better. To push
Wait,
us
How
on
did
to
we get over
compete.
here? Wolfie wants to. You want to talk Tottenham? We wanted
Yeah.
to talk about Ange and his arrival to not.
He's done well.
That
Let's
was
go.
Joe, man. I
Hold on
didn't
a minute.
move the narrative.
You did.
I
You
cra-
moved the narrative. You done
I
what you
did.
done as you always do and deflect and try to make the conversation
did.
about Tottenham. And the
All right, ask
conversation
me what you
about
want. Go on, George. Ask me
about
what you
your
want.
team. What is your? Are you winning the Europa League under Ange? Is that what you expect?
Yeah, my expectation is to win this Europa
The
League.
minimum expectation.
We have the most expensive squad in that Europa League, and I think we win it. I thought
He has
Villa
to
would
win
have a good
So he
chance, but
gets
Villa's
sacked if he
squad is
doesn't win it.
looking dusty right now. So I think I put Forest as favourites for
Do you
it.
think he should
And
get
we now
sacked?
have the
Do you
current
think-
Europa League manager in charge. Therefore, that heightens my expectation for it because
So
he's got
should
the
he get
know-how
sacked
how
if
to
he
do
doesn't
it.
win it?
Huh?
Should he get sacked if he doesn't win it?
Wolfie, can I ask you a question?
Maybe he's only got 18 months anyway. Go on, Jamie.
Well, I mean, he got sacked winning it, so I don't really just sack him now. Just sack him now.
Would you sacrifice your league form like Tottenham did last year for the Europa League?
Yep. Yeah, I'll take the
This
Europa
sounds-
League. If you give me
Yeah,
22 defeats and I finish 17th and you're telling me I'm going to lift the Europa League and
Yeah,
get into the Champions League and then get my 3rd star the following year, I'm taking that.
That's fair, man. That's
Always
fair.
goes one
Yeah.
step further, don't he, Wolfie?
Fair,
Always
man,
one
it's
step
fair.
extra.
Yeah,
Fair,
because you
I
gotta
don't-
have ambition. I ain't a
this is-
Chelsea
I
fan.
get
I'm
it,
not gonna
why
do
is
the
it
Chelsea
fair?
thing and hide and be like, well, maybe we should compete. Maybe we just
Jamie, why is that fair? That's
Can I-
fair.
His
I-
answer, his answer, his
Nottingham
answer.
Forest don't have the same expectations as Tottenham
So
Hotspur.
this is what I was going to come
Right,
to,
that-
Sava, right?
That's-
Like,
that's
this is
the
where,
difference.
for me as a Leeds fan, I'm taking that because I want to see a big
Yeah.
trophy in my lifetime, right? In my lifetime.
Mhm.
I was 4 when we won the old first division, right? I don't remember.
Still
that.
counts, Joe. Still counts.
It still counts. It does, but I want to see something, not the championship. I want to see something tangible. So it does come down to expectations, of course, right? It's like Wigan fans, yeah. Wigan fans are now in League One, but I tell you what, they'll never forget that FA Cup 1-0 win
Sure,
against Manchester
sure.
City that season
Exactly.
went down. It is about
Sure.
expectations. Totally appreciate that. But what I would also then come and counteract is that it's like, but Spurs aren't used to winning on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Genuinely, and I don't mean that.
No-
I'm not
no
trying
one
to
said
get
we
anyone
are.
on the hook. I'm
Preach.
just saying they don't win.
Preach, brother, preach.
Sure, but
Preach
Joe,
it.
but you're conflating. But Joe, you're conflating.
Hallelujah.
See, but when you want to talk about preaching, you're conflating two different things, right? Winning the Europa League, brilliant. That's great. But that doesn't mean I have to want to sit through and watch another league campaign
No,
under
I
Ange
wasn't saying
Postecoglou,
that.
right? That's the point. So when people were saying, should he stay now because he's won the cup? Well, the difference for me, Joe, was he had 2 years to change and adapt, and he didn't. So the Europa League, great, but I'll ask you this, Joe. And again, the difficulty I'm going to have here is anything I say makes me sound ungrateful. But is
Yep.
there anybody that Spurs beat there in the Europa League where you go, Jesus, wow, that was wow?
Yeah, but that's
Man United.
Yeah.
Man United.
United.
That's the point, Sava. Like that, that's what.
hang on, I'm talking to Joe Wolfie. I want to be serious for 1 second. Joe, I'm
Yeah,
talking to
okay.
Joe. Right? The worst Man United team I've seen in my lifetime, or certainly since I was at primary school, this is the worst United team I've ever seen. Right?
Yeah.
And we shithoused a 1-0 win against them, putting 10 men behind the ball. That's fine. We did what we needed to win the trophy. The problem was, Joe, his form, right? His form for 18 months was so bad that when people watch in from the outside and go, 22 games, it wasn't just the 22 defeats in the Premier League. It was the year before. It was all the defeats in the cups. It was the embarrassment. It was nearly getting knocked out, Joe, to Tamworth in the FA Cup from the non-league. They should have beaten us. Tamworth had a chance in the 93rd minute, whatever, to knock us out the cup. It was that. It was getting played off the park at Liverpool in a semi-final of an FA Cup. No fight, no spirit. Villa in the fourth round of the FA Cup absolutely battered us in that game. Right? 22 league defeats, 26 defeats in all competitions. That's great. But if you said to me, do I want to witness that again this year because he lifted the Europa?
No, I didn't say
don't.
that. I don't think you should.
I'm saying if you asked me that, no, I don't. Right? So
Would
thank
you
for the cup.
sacrifice, Sava? Sava,
Yeah.
would you have sacrificed the Europa League to have seen Spurs play well
Finish
in the
fourth.
Premier League and finish, say, 5th or 6th? So sacrifice the trophy, but you see the progression in the league form.
You get the last Champions League spot.
Sure, but
yeah,
you know
fifth.
Wolfie, you know the problem with this question? The problem with this question is my club hasn't been so bad that I should ever have to sit and answer a question about should I sacrifice finishing 17th for anything? No.
When was the last time
You
you
know
were
what
in
it
the
is though?
Champions
Do you know?
League?
Do you know what the irony of it is? Ultimately, is
I think
remember
it's
before
that
that season.
harder question.
No,
though.
before that season,
It's not
loads
a
of
hard
people are
question. It's
Spurs
just
fans.
it's a
Sava.
question for
Yeah, but
you.
would you? I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
but it's a question for a fan who supported a team that has been in the championship for most of the last 30 years. My
it's not-
team hasn't
It's a question for the one that won it last year and finished 17th. I think it's an interesting question. There's no freaking.
Would I take so are you saying would I take 5th?
So
but
you see your
without
club
winning the
progressing. So
Europa
you
League?
finished 5th the season before, and then last season you saw good progression. You ended up finishing 5th with consistent football, but you went out early in the Europa League. Would you have taken that?
Yeah. Because we were, do you know what? But you say it's interesting. Do you know what I love about this? Let's look at the irony of what happens here. We all live on YouTube, right? To a degree. the irony is, Jules and I rock up here every week, and you lot laughing. You lost again. 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 You're shit. You can't defend. Then we get to the beginning of the next season. It's suddenly, oh, you boys are well ungrateful. Why don't you want to see more of that? You guys shouldn't really care about the defeats. Then don't mock us every week.
Did we laugh at you when you lifted the trophy?
If losing every week isn't important, then what are we doing here? Why do we all mock each other?
Hey,
Why-
I'm
why
on
are we- why are we
winning. I'm on Sava's side because Sava he's not a YouTube guy. Yeah, he's from real football background and he understands
his job.
Football's not just about lifting trophies. Yeah, what Sava's aiming for is sustained success. Yeah, he doesn't care about the odd 1 or 2 trophies.
Wait, Hooks, what's the sustained success? What's the sustained success?
He wants to build a legacy.
20 league titles, 7 champions.
You know what I mean? He wants to
No, but if we are being honest, though, I feel like most people would agree with Sava, but the only reason why Spurs fans would have accepted what you're saying, Wolfie, in last season, the season that we had, is just because it had been 17 years. If it was a 5-year trophy drought, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'll be honest. I would have said, give me that 5th. But the fact that it's been 17 years, that's the reason why me as a Spurs fan, I'm like, do you know what? I'll take that season last year just to get the trophy. I just want to get a trophy so that I don't need to hear
Your
17
answer
years.
is the opposite of Saps.
Yeah,
Is that
it's
what
the
you're
opposite,
saying,
but
George?
that's only
Of course, I
off
get
the
that.
back of the trophy drought. If we didn't have the trophy drought, I would be all with Sava. If there was a 5-year trophy drought, I'd be with Sava.
What if I change my answer? What if I change my answer? I'll accept it if I knew the manager was going. So I accepted it. The manager's gone. Boom, we move on. How's that, Wolfie?
It's a good one, isn't it?
Because the
Right?
thing is with
What's the
George as
difference?
well,
I'll
right?
accept the 17th once
I get it.
on the knowledge that the manager had to be sacked.
No, but
The
that's
thing is,
not really what I'm trying to figure out. I'm figuring out, like, where do you weigh trophies in comparison to league position?
I want to win trophies, but I also don't want my team to nearly get relegated. Like we're not a team that nearly gets relegated, Wolfie. This is the difference. No, again, I'm not saying this in. I understand what Spurs are and what we're not. So I know when I'm having a conversation with Jamie, I can't sit and have conversations about winning league titles and all that shit, right? But
Was that
I also
fly?
know, yeah,
That was huge.
Fly
That was huge.
Past me out that door and out that door.
and hooks. And hooks.
You know, so I won't sit there and have that debate, but I also can't sit and have a debate with teams that go down quite a lot that finishing 17th is ever acceptable. Let me throw it back at you, Wolfie, right? And this is where I would like to think that Dan, Hooks, and Jamie will probably agree with me. This is the question. Which one of your clubs, when we're talking about would you sacrifice finishing 17th to win a Europa League? 1, none of your clubs would do that, right? And 2, which one of your clubs would allow a manager to get to be 17th in the first place without them being sacked earlier?
I think they take a Champions League.
Yeah, the problem here is my manager needs to be sacked if I'm playing Europa League.
Thank you.
That's no, Jamie.
That's not what I'm
Jurgen's
asking.
got played Europa League. You're not
Yeah,
going to do
and
that.
if you remember, I did videos saying he should have been sacked.
Okay.
But
you
Jamie,
did play
whether
Europa League.
we're talking Europa League or Champions League, it doesn't matter. If a Liverpool manager, in January or
Oh no, he has
February
to go. He has to
is
go.
sitting 17th in the Premier League or is heading in that trajectory,
Sava,
you guys,
we had
that manager's gone, right?
None of
Which
them.
we had a
manager
manager for 6
allows
months.
our
Yes,
manager
ask the
to
Arsenal
be-
fans, would you take 17th in the Champions League this season?
Does anyone remember Roy Hodgson? We had him for 6 months.
Would you
He's
take
gone.
that?
Give me the one with the big ears, man. Real talk.
Exactly.
Yes,
This is what I'm
Pots.
saying,
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
but you wouldn't.
No, the thing
you wouldn't
is- the
settle
thing
for your
is-
team to be in the bottom in the bottom 6 or 7.
But
You wouldn't.
the thing is, I've said
wouldn't.
this quite a lot. That if we're winning a trophy, I'm always going to be happy. But we have to compete for the league alongside it. Otherwise, you end up like a Ten Hag, right? But if you are going to ask me that question, of course I'm going to take the Champions League because it shuts everybody up saying we haven't won it, right? But if I say to have a successful season and one where a manager gets to keep his job, absolutely, then for me, then he has to be competing for the league and winning trophies alongside it. I've always remained consistent with that. But for me, go on, Hooks.
I'd I'd take relegation to the championship if it meant I won a championship.
Yes, Hooks. Yes, Hooks.
No, but
I
so
mean,
you say,
and then you know what? And then with all of that
Arteta
Champions
was
League
losing
money,
every week, you wouldn't. If Arteta was losing in the league, you wouldn't.
with all that Champions League money, that I just won, I'm coming straight back up winning the
Exactly.
Hey, I've won the championship now as well. You know what I mean?
Another trophy.
Wait,
Wait, Hooks, you do realize that would be the first time Arsenal have ever been relegated. So winning the
it'll be
Champions
the
League will be
First
nothing.
time they've ever won the
That's not-
Champions League.
But nobody's gonna care the fact you won the Champions League. You've been relegated.
Yeah, they will.
Being
will.
relegated.
Spurs
let's
are just
have
a
it
different
right. Wait,
animal,
wait.
man.
Wait,
Seriously.
Are you
No, we're
guys
not. I don't want to see.
You are.
Sorry, what is
Do you
what is
think
wrong
that-
with not wanting to see my team lose 22 league games? And
No, you're right. You are
answer me this question, Wolfie. Why does winning a trophy mean you have to lose 22 games at the same time? If you are capable of winning this trophy, how are you not capable of coaching better in the league and not losing every game nearly?
At no
How?
stage have I said you have to lose 22 games. You could finish 17th and lose 15 games, 10 games, whatever it is.
Okay, but I'm talking about the
look,
facts. We did
okay,
lose
but
22 games.
my point is, we are all in this from a fan perspective, from a manager perspective, from a player perspective, from an owner perspective. Well, maybe not some owners, to win trophies.
Hey,
Like,
I understand that winning things is important, but I support my club. You get me? Like, to me, football's more than just winning trophies. Do you know what I mean? I've seen
but
many
do you agree that winning trophies breeds a winning mentality?
But
That's the whole
I'm
point.
gonna love Arsenal. I keep on explaining this. It's already too late for me. It's already too late for me. Arsenal's already part of my heart and soul. Like,
Can I ask a question? I want to ask a question, right? Because obviously I like reading a lot of the comments in the chat, and it makes me laugh. People going, "Who do Spurs think they are?" Well, I think my team's better than 17th.
Yeah.
The question I've got is, for all these people saying this, it's easy to say in hindsight because you win that trophy, right? But it's such a big if, because that final, Spurs were crap, right? Spurs were really poor in that final.
Doesn't
We
matter.
cleared off the line. Man United peppered us in the second half. Now imagine that goes in. All of a sudden, we're all sitting there going, Ange is the worst manager Tottenham have ever had because he didn't manage to shit house a final. So why can't two things be true at once? Great. I'm grateful. You won the Europa League. Thank you. You salvaged. By the way, he salvaged his own reputation for that as well. He salvaged his own reputation. He salvaged Spurs' reputation. But why can't I also say, thanks for winning it, but you've got to go? Because
no, you can.
Everyone's making me wrong. What did the Spurs board do? And how many of you read? I know George will have read it. How many of you read what was said when Ange Postecoglou was sacked by Spurs? Why was he sacked, guys? What did it say?
I didn't read it.
22
league form,
losses or whatever. 22
They
losses.
turned around and said that he got something like 62 points in like 65 games, right?
Wow.
And they said that is not sustainable. That is not acceptable. And I agreed with them on that. You cannot have like a 1 point per game ratio.
That's
for nearly 18
Amarin. That's
months.
Amarin levels, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Right.
Sava, you're conflicting two different things.
You guys
You're
tried to
conflicting.
justify it, and Ange literally come out in his first press conference and said, "I knew I was sacked before the final." So he knew that the league position wasn't good enough, and that it would get him sacked.
Shows
and
his
that
integrity. He continued on. He could have thrown that
it's
final.
not that
He
he
had no
continued on.
choice.
He tried to save. He tried to save literally any little bit of credibility he had. He saved.
He had
with
no
that final.
motivation if he knew he was already sacked, bro. That's
Of course
a
he would
man
have
with
motivation.
integrity.
It's a final. If he
That's
has no
a man with
motivation,
integrity.
you've lost your mind, Wolfie. You've lost your mind.
Let me ask seriously, because I mean Wolfie's done unbelievable here to get 44 minutes and just talk about Tottenham. But let me do these supers, and I'll actually genuinely ask Wolfie a question. Anup says Ange also took that club close to the relegation in the Premier League. He would get battered in the Champions League with Ange and get relegated if he stayed on. Obviously, a Spurs fan. We've got a Forest fan here. Isaac says, Sava, how does Ange not working out at Spurs mean that he won't work out at Forest? Surely Nuno proves that Spurs can't be used used as a barometer in that sense.
Oh,
Sure.
that's a good point.
Nuno
I'll
only
tell
had
you what,
10
I tell you
games.
Mic
what, Isaac, that's a great point. If that had what had actually been what I said, which I didn't, but good, I like that. We're just making things up. I didn't say that. I said let's hope he's learned. Let's see what he does at Forest. But listen, the difference is Nuno. Whatever you like, Nuno or not, Nuno's organised and drilled. It won't be pretty, but he'll make you solid. Let's see if Ange does. And if he doesn't,
Imagine a world, where Forest finish ahead of Spurs this season.
I'll
You don't have to imagine it. It happened last year, Joe.
Any amount of money on this, Joe, that we don't finish below. Not in
And
Forest.
Joe, this is
I
their
would
biggest
love
fear.
this.
Wolfie already
biggest fear,
guaranteed. I've got the
because
clip. 19th
there
of
with the
February
popcorn.
2025. He said that they were guaranteed to finish above us this season. He guaranteed. So
Yeah,
I'm
that was
just
on
giving-
Nuno. But Joe, this is their biggest fear. They've seen an ex-manager come into
Wait,
Forest
you
and
don't think
finish
it'll
ahead
happen
of
under
them.
Ange? Because you just
Huh?
said it will happen under Nuno. So you don't think it'll happen under Ange?
No, it will still happen under Ange. I'm just saying context.
There you go, George.
Context.
You got your new clip. You got your new clip.
Context.
Okay, African Cat says everyone likes to point out that we've spent, yet Spurs have spent more than Liverpool in the last 5 years. Is that
Facts.
true?
Spurs have spent more than Arsenal in the last 10 years.
This week.
Another-
Well,
another
Liverpool
mic
spent
drop.
nothing last year, so yeah, we might have because they've had a few years
Another
of doing
mic drop.
nothing. Like,
Mad.
what are we doing?
Chris says, I've never in 5 years seen injuries like Spurs last year. He's then come in to say he meant 50 years. They
Wait,
did have a lot of
Arsenal
injuries.
had more injuries than Spurs last season.
Yeah, injuries has always been brought up by every club, to be fair. Anup says, if Ange wins the Europa League with Forest and finishes 17th in the league, or worst case gets relegated, would they want Ange to continue the next season, Wolfie?
That's two different scenarios. If he wins it and stays up, he can stay. If he wins it and gets relegated, fuck it, he can stay because he won it.
Wait, winning the Europa League and getting relegated is at LU. You can't keep your manager after that.
I got Champions League, bro.
Only Champions League you can do that. You can't do that. with
Yeah,
Europa.
but I've got Champions League
Doesn't
and then I
matter.
get my third. Can you
It doesn't
imagine? I get my third star in the championship. That's record.
I don't like.
Yeah.
I'll be
Quite
so
literally wouldn't happen.
yeah.
You'd
Yeah,
have so many
yeah.
players leave you. That's how
You
it
wouldn't
works.
make it. But you wouldn't make it.
I put a question in the poll, in the chat, saying, would you accept a European trophy and relegation in the same season? And 73% have said no, they wouldn't. So-
Champions League, yes. European trophy, yeah. It's only the Champions League.
Okay.
You can't do it with any other European.
I don't think you get hooks. The relegation outweighs your Champions League win. You've never been relegated.
Wait.
Yes, you've never won a Champions
Wait,
League.
wait.
You can't say that.
That
You
is
can't.
far bigger.
Wait, George.
Wait, Hooks. I don't think you
Wait.
understand. Being in
You
the
are-
top division for over 100 years
Yeah.
is and then getting relegated is
Yeah.
far bigger than you just winning the Champions League. No,
It's
everyone
not.
can remember your Champions League. Yes,
Oh,
it is.
I've never won a Champions League in my life. No, wait, sorry, not
in
in
your
my life.
club's life.
My club's life, yeah. Not even just my life, in my club's life, yeah.
Mm,
So,
fact.
but you're not thinking about the bigger picture, yeah. Because what you're thinking about is, what do you think I care more about? Trolling all of you, man.
I don't care about what you.
because I've never been relegated, or trolling all you, man, because I've now won the Champions League. Which do you
Well
think?
said, Hooks. Well
You
said.
can't troll if you're in the championship. You're not even making it onto these fucking panels, bro.
Yeah, how about that? He'll be still in the Champions League the next season. And Spurs
How
will
are you
not be.
making it onto a Premier League panel if you're a championship team? You're not even
It
playing.
says let's talk ball. It
You're
doesn't
not-
say let's talk Premier League
You're
ball.
not thinking.
Look,
You're not.
Hooks,
You're not
can we look past the fan part of it, right? Let me go with your theory. So you're poor all year in the league, but you win the Champions League. Brilliant. You celebrate
Yeah.
like mad. You rub it in everyone's face.
Yeah.
Now take away from you as a fan. Now think about the footballers. Which of those Champions League footballers that won you the Champions League are staying to play in the Championship? Who's signing for you when you're in the Championship? Your
Hey,
team
look.
falls apart.
Hey, I'll be so real with you. See, again, you lot are not thinking about the bigger picture. Not only do I earn over 100 million, yeah, from winning the Champions League, yeah, I also get the parachute payments of over 100 million getting relegated into the Championship. So I have peas.
And Hooks.
I have
Well, you didn't
to
answer
be
my
qualified for the
Hooks,
Champions League next season.
You didn't actually answer my question, though. That
And
was
I'm playing.
very
Wait, sorry.
political, right? You
Yeah,
didn't
sorry,
actually
Sava.
answer
Wait,
what I said.
sorry, Sava. I didn't think. Obviously, Wolfie did the little tag. He came in, Dudley boys,
Yeah,
none of them
Yeah.
chairs.
Yeah.
So now, and yeah, my players will. So I'm in the Champions League. So I'm in the next season's Champions League. Well, I hope I am. There's nothing.
You lose a lot of money as well, though, Hooks. Remember that. You lose a lot of money TV wise and all that.
Yeah, TV wise.
Nah,
But I'm Arsenal. Yeah, I'm good. My owner, his wife, yeah, she part owns Walmart. I'm good for money.
You just put a new brand line out in the shop the next day.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know what?
Can you answer my question now?
Wait, do
Can
you know what?
answer my question now?
I don't think you actually get the impact this has. You know,
Wait.
nobody's paying.
It's a stupid question, man. It's a silly question. Let's move because I think it's a silly question. Personally, it's never going to happen, right? Well, bloody hope it won't happen anyway. Arsenal win the championship. I hate to think that's the case. But let me just do this last super chat, and then I want to ask Wolfie something. Isaac's come back and said Sava said I really should read these before I put them up. Sava said we would have good first 2 months. Then, hey.
I think they'll have a good first 2 months when the players are all on a high. It's a new style, octane. The fans love it. Then I think when the injuries start to creep in because of the way he plays, when the players when other teams start to realise that you don't defend, you actually just are wide open. I just think it starts to unravel. It doesn't mean I think you'll be dreadfully shit, but I don't think, put it this way, I don't think Forest will be 7th this year. I think they'll fall away from that.
Well, it's a nice segue because this was a question I wanted to ask. Wolfie, you told me you thought Forest would get sick with Nuno. Now you have Ange. Where are Forest finishing this season?
About the same. Maybe higher, maybe one place lower. I'd say ±1. Because I still look at our squad and I can't find 7 teams that have a better squad than us in the Premier League. So I think we will.
You were saying to me on WhatsApp, this is absolute blasphemy.
What did I say to you?
You can't do that. You can't expose the private chat.
Oh, yeah, man.
No,
it's like the Lakers stuff. What did I say?
What did you say? You've been going back looking at how. By the way, this is nothing personal. We're not talking about people's personal lives. We're talking about football, right? I've been looking at the way he plays, the way he sets up, blah blah blah. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. And now you're going, our squad
exposed.
Wait, but how does that change? Where I think
Wolfie's doing a YouTube thing. He's doing a YouTube thing.
I'm not doing a YouTube thing, but we are on YouTube, George. Breaking news.
Because you'll play
that doesn't change. Should I tell you what changes? Is that things flip around. Where did Forest do well last season? When they were playing against attacking teams where we could counter-attack. Where did we do shit last season? When we were playing against teams that gave us the ball and went defensive. This is going to flip on its head. There's more defensive teams in the Premier League than there are attacking teams. I could see Forest getting tonked by Arsenal on Saturday 5-0 and then going and tonking Burnley 4-0 and 5-0 when we play Sunderland the week after.
Wolfie, I think you got it the wrong way around. Tottenham played better against counter-attacking team. Like if we against the bigger clubs, we used to
I ain't talking about Tottenham, bro. I'm talking about Forest. You tried for 50 minutes to get me on Forest. Now you want to bring it back to shitty Spurs again.
You're talking about Ange. You said this season.
I don't think you've watched Ange very closely.
No, I don't know. You just sat there and said, no, Wolfie, you just sat there and said that against Burnley, you find those games going to be easier. No, those games with Ange were the toughest games to watch because we couldn't break down low blocks. We had a complete.
I'm sitting here telling you about Forest. I haven't said Ange yet. This is what I think is going to happen. I think the narrative's going to flip. Also, with all due respect, George, your strike force under Ange was utter shite.
I think you have a better,
better
squad than we had last year.
We've got better attacking players than you had when Ange was there. And I don't think you can really dispute that. Son was basically in a Zimmer frame. Brennan Johnson, you all hated. Slolanki was useless. Richarlison injured.
Got better midfield as well.
Better midfield as well. So I haven't mentioned Ange in my little monologue now at all. All you want to do is still talk about Spurs.
Him or not, he's your manager right now. I don't want to talk about Spurs. I want to talk about the football that you're playing. You sat there and said that against the smaller teams, you're going to find it easier. When you won't, you'll find it harder against the smaller teams. You're still, as you have in general, against the bigger teams, you have good games because you can counterattack. That's the only way Ange will actually thrive. Is although he's not a counter-attacking manager, I've watched him enough to know his attacking football is not fluid. You have more depth than us. You're not lying. Your squad this season is better than our squad last season. Yes, but you still lack that star quality, that power to score. I think you still lack that. You have a lot of options, but how good are these options that you have? That's the bigger problem.
The options are fantastic.
Wood, Spurs fans, sorry, George and Sava. Do you think Wood can work? Because obviously he's not a presser, is he? He's immobile.
I got Jesus. I got Jesus will probably be the starting striker.
Or Callum Mwenda.
maybe as well.
Or
I think
Callum Mwenda,
Joe, the problem
What
you've got
happens
here
with Wood
is
then? I'll take him.
when you talk about the quality of a squad, I think that the difficulty is it's just about the way he plays. When we're talking about how bad the Spurs squad was, when you look at Van der Ven, Romero, Porro, Spencer, Dogie, Bentancur, Basuma, Kulusevski,
Archie Gray, say it, Gray.
Oh, go on then, Archie Gray. I'll say it, Archie Gray. When you look at this squad, yeah, it should never have been 17th. So I don't think that Forest. I said I came on the other week, didn't I? I said I actually think Forest have had a decent window, that they bought some good players.
He did.
My problem isn't my problem if I was a Forest fan wouldn't be about how good my squad is. It's about how does Ange set up. If Ange sets up the way he did at Spurs for 2 years, it doesn't matter how good a midfielder Anderson is, or Douglas Luiz is, or how good a fullback Aina is, or Williams is. If they're not being played in the right positions, which is what Ange did with our players, none of that matters how good the players are. You will be ripped apart. So as I said at the beginning, if he does that, you're going to struggle. If he doesn't, if he's adapted, if he's learned from his tenure at Tottenham, then you'll be absolutely fine.
And I think that's the most sensible point you've made today. I really do. Because everyone's prejudging stuff that he hasn't yet done. And by the way, Sava, it's nice to be talking to you while you have a top on, because your recent messages to me have been quite topless lately. So it's nice to see clothes back on you, bro. But I agree with what you just said there. Look, for me, if Ange is utter shit after 10 games, I'll be telling him to fuck off. But if he's putting stuff together and things are looking good, then I'll back him. I don't care who the manager is. My club is bigger than any manager. And the club will always come first. Managers will come and go. I've seen a shitload of them in my lifetime. And the only ones I really got that attached to were people like Frank Clark, because he took us into Europe. He gave us memories in Europe. And obviously Cloughy, but I was too young for the Cloughy era. But you go and ask any Forest fan who was alive in those eras, no one will touch Clough. And even the younger fans like me, the 23-year-olds, Cloughy is our legend because of what he has done for this club. And what has he done? He's put those trophies on the board. I can't tell you how well or not Forest played in the final against Malmo, but I can tell you we have the trophy. And that was my point when I was talking about Ange's legacy. Ange's legacy from Spurs. Yes, you as an analyst and whatever will see the 22 games, but the memories of that trophy being lifted is the memories that will be taken away. In all relationships, you can either reflect on it at the bad times you had in that relationship, or you can look back and reflect at the good times. It just depends
Why
what
do
your
relationships end?
is. What?
Why do relationships end?
Sometimes people die.
She's not giving brain.
Bro, if you're married and you die, the relationship pretty much comes to an end.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you knew that's not what I was talking about. Most relationships end, though, at the end because things aren't working.
Bro,
yeah?
till death do us
that's
part.
the same
Like
with
me and
Ange.
you, Sava. Till death do us part, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. But again, Ange, we can have that good memory of him winning it, but I can't forget the memory of him not winning it. But
You're
let's see
missing
what
my
he does with
point.
you
You're
lot.
missing my point. You're completely missing the point. I'm not saying you have to forget about it. I am saying that's what he will be remembered for, bro. You can try and squeeze the 22. Maybe not to you, but I think, and I can say, I don't know, Spurs are a bit of a deluded fan base with delusions of grandeur, but I think, and I would still assume, most Spurs fans in 10 years' time will still remember that moment when Son lifted the trophy.
Do you know what? Do you know where I disagree with you? Right, go on.
Go on, Hooks. Go on, Hooks.
No, I was just gonna say, do you know where I disagree with you? And I kind of hear Sava's point. Like, in 10 years, like, yeah, Sava may look back and be like, yeah, man, like I'm gassed. And I'm happy because we won the Europa League. Because anyone's happy when their team wins a trophy, right? But he's not gonna pull out the Blu-ray or whatever it is in 10 years time and watch back the Europa League run with any real excitement. Like, yeah, whatever it will be, then he's not gonna pull it. Like, he's not gonna. You're not gonna. No Tottenham fan is gonna look back and watch that run with. Do you know what? Truth be told,
Definitely no
The
one's
run-
watching that final again. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, truth be told, and correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, Spurs' run to the Champions League final, it was actually better than your run to the Europa League final.
But they didn't win.
Well,
The
I
only
mean, it's
difference
the
is-
Champions League, so you would expect.
Yeah, but the only difference is you won the Europa League, and that's the point. You're not going to look. Come on, George. You're like, come
Yeah,
on.
but Hooks, the end.
No,
just
but I don't get what you're
justified the
saying.
mean.
Because I can
I'm
talk
saying,
about
innit?
the last trophy we won before the Europa League, which was the Carling Cup. And every Spurs fan, remember, one day Ramos for being a shit manager. He just won that trophy. Nobody thinks, oh, he was such a good manager. We finished 13th that season or something. We were shit. And he got sacked 6
No,
months
I'm talking
after.
about the run. I'm talking about the run because that's part of when you look back on winning trophies.
Only
Look at
four
the run.
more than Ange, so maybe Ange wasn't that bad, really.
Exactly. And let's not forget, Joe, they've had Mourinho, they've had what's his face, Conte, they've had Poch, who they all laud about. None of them got Spurs a trophy. Like,
Yeah, but
I would say-
none of them lost 22 league games in a season and finished 17th as
yeah,
well.
but when I ask you what will Poch
know what I
be
mean?
remembered for, you always tell me, oh, he lost in the final. That's his standout memory. It's like trophies matter.
yeah.
Trophies matter.
It
Beat
does, but
Ange out, it's
Wolfie,
fine,
this
but
is the
don't
thing,
undermine his
you
trophy.
do this a lot. You do this a lot. If you look at Poch's tenure, it wasn't just one Champions League final that he lost that we remember him by. It was that he took over an absolute shambolic mess at Tottenham, turned us into one of the best teams in the league for 3 or 4 years, got to a Champions League final, produced some top players, had the best defense in Europe for 2 years in a row. That 4 or 5 years under Poch was we were good. We were a good team. No one was mocking us. We were good. And then we didn't kick on. So it all depends on how you want to look at it. Yes, Ange will always be remembered for winning the trophy. He'll also be remembered for me for having the worst points per game ratio I've ever seen a manager have in a year.
To be fair, the only manager in the Premier League era that won something for Tottenham that was decent was our old manager. The others were just a mess.
And even him, he finished mid-table when he won it. He finished about 11th, bruv. Like,
yeah. Look, let's.
Did he have,
what we're
did he have
seeing is,
David
like,
Ginola?
the Spurs
Did he have David Ginola then? or not?
low league
Good branded.
performance represent cups. It's normal.
Yeah. Well, look, let's do these supers, and then I want to move. Big up to everyone that's here, man. There's well over 2,000. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you're following every single one of these. And of course, you've got OK jerseys as well. A lot of people are getting their replica jerseys. Please make sure that you're getting involved as well. If you put in the code 12man, you can get 8% off as well. Just like that one. Have you got Zidane on the back here or not?
No, I didn't get Zidane, but I will be putting Zidane 10 on the back of that. You should get Henri 12 on that, innit?
Yeah, maybe that's what's going to happen. Prue says Ange was given two kids in a second season transfer window, and Sava is still blaming Ange. The Lulu Spurs man.
Look, but do you know what? Before we do the silly clapping, this is the thing is, Prue, what about the year before? He wasn't given kids the year before. Right?
Did you just call him poo-poo?
No,
Prue, wasn't it? Is that his name? That is his name, right? Prue.
Is he a Carlson fan? That's what
He's also said, Sava, sorry, quickly, Bergvall is overrated, 1 goal and assist in 30 appearances. Is that true?
Ooh.
I mean, he's not a goal scorer, but he's young. He's a young player that needs time to develop.
Oh, George. Hey, Dan, do you remember the conversation? Do you remember the argument? Do you remember? Interesting.
Wait, enlighten us for those in the audience that
conversation that
missed.
I won. The battle that nobody watched. Us fans don't want to watch that video about because I won it.
You didn't win. 1G8.
You won one of the topics.
Well, I won all the topics. Just that one was the biggest one.
Oh,
so-
that fight format, I did see that. I thought George did all right, to be honest.
Ola says Big Ange will play pragmatically and shock everyone. Could you imagine?
What will his reception be like at White Hart Lane, at your new stadium?
Shout out in.
I think it'll be fine.
You think it'll be fine?
Yeah.
Cool.
A nice clap.
It should be a standing ovation, Joe. It should be a standing
I
ovation.
do.
Everyone should bow.
I think it'll be an okay reception.
Sorry, do we bow Ramos? Do we bow George Graham? These two won trophies as well. No one talks about them.
Yeah,
Should
but
bow.
it wasn't a big European trophy.
And neither was this a big European trophy.
It looks pretty big.
1 hour, 4 minutes. All right, great, perfect. Love it.
Okay, let me read this out. Andy says, big up, great show. Can you read my last comment? I've had to scroll and I have found it. He says, sorry, Wolfie, but you're either deluded or fronting. Ange is the worst manager in Spurs have had in a lifetime. Good luck, you'll need it. I sub to say this. The league is the barometer. There we
Cool,
go.
okay, so you tell me who's
got less than
factually more a successful manager in your lifetime at Spurs. I'll wait.
Oh, okay. Let me just quickly go around the panel very quickly. I've got Spurs.
Joe, this is why we want it to go wrong. Sorry, Dan. Joe, this is why when you say about why we all saying what we're saying, it's because Wolfie's got a lot of chest for a guy that secretly we all know is really unhappy with this signing of Ange, but is fronting it on screen. We all know this, right? He went on Australian sports TV and gave it the old, I'm actually optimistically excited. Shut up. That's not what you've been saying. You don't like
nervously excited.
Nervously excited. You don't like it at all. You were mocking us for all our defeats. All I'm saying is keep the same energy this year.
Bro, you've just been on holiday, bro. I would have expected you to come back a little more relaxed, man. All this upheld anger, and I thought you would have worked that out in the pool.
Anger. I'm relaxed.
Like, why didn't you work that out in the pool, man? It's okay.
Let me ask this, because I've got Forest. I'm just going to keep them where I put them, which is in 11th. George, where are they going to finish under Ange? Forest.
I think. Do you know what? Where did I have them? I had them. I think 9th, 8th, in and around that. I honestly think that the Europa League's just going to make them suffer. He's going to have to choose one. So yeah, 8th or 9th for me.
Okay, Hooks.
I think, well, I did it when Nuno was there, innit? But I think I had them 8th because my hot take is Everton will finish 7th. So, yeah.
I think Everton are going to be quality as well. I haven't quite got them that high. I think I've got Everton in the top half, though. Jay, what are you saying?
8th.
Okay. Sava? 12th. Joe?
I had them 8th as well, but that was with Nuno, so I don't know how it's going to go, but so we'll just stick with 8th. We'll stick with 8th.
And
what
Wolfie,
did you say?
think 6th, maybe higher?
I think 6th and the Europa League.
In the Europa League. I'll tell you what.
True. There's no Premier League team that's... No, do you know what's so funny? Is I don't get that. He thinks you're going to be the first Premier League team to handle both schedules. Like, you're not going to be able to do it. There's been no Premier League team to do it. Even Liverpool suffered at times when they were doing Thursday, Sunday. Like, and you think your squad's good enough?
You know who did do it? Do you know who did do it, George?
Ange Postecoglou.
Forest.
Oh, 40 years ago. We're talking about Premier League, mate.
They did it. Bro, they were squad sizes of 15 back then.
Don't know what that is.
I love Wolfie, man. I love Wolfie so much, man. It's crazy. Okay, look, we're gonna move. I was gonna touch on Chelsea, to be honest, quickly, but seeing we've not really got any Chelsea guys here. I didn't really understand what's going on, to be fair, because I've been well busy today. Just quickly, does anyone want to kind of enlighten me as what's happening? And is this a massive thing about Chelsea, or is it just
they go? Apparently, they got to pay the same fine they paid for UEFA. It was about £8.5 million, and they've accepted it. They actually grasped themselves up.
Yeah.
They accepted
apparently, when Bowley took over, he saw all these dodgy dealings within the documents, and he pretty much just snitched on himself to save them from, being further hit down the line. So I don't think they're actually going to have like anything wrong. Like I said, there'll be a little fine smack on the back, like. Nothing.
It was for Willian, Eto'o, and Hazard. Some dodgy.
It was in the Roman era, wasn't it? It was. It was
apparently what they were saying that they weren't. They were lying about the fees, but then paying the agents and players on the back end or something. It's something crazy, like typical Chelsea business, really. Like, it's not.
Sorry, are we glazing over this? Are we just glazing over this? I got a speeding ticket and I was freaking put up to be hung. And we're just glazing over 74 charges here. Are we for real?
No, but it's old. I think the problem is, Wolfie, it's old news, right? This is from between 2011 and 2016. I think the reason why, the panel will tell me if I'm wrong, I think the reason why people are probably not in uproar about it is this isn't the same Chelsea or the same ownership, and their owner took it to the FA and said, hey, this has been done wrong. What do we do?
It's the same Chelsea, though. They haven't rebranded their name.
I don't think.
Wolfie, do you want
the owner's gone. All the players are different. The coaches are different.
It's the same club, Sav. It's the same. Why are we giving them an easy time here? All their fans are in hiding.
What is there to be angry about?
And at the end of the day, it's the FA as well. What the FA got to do, man? Ban them from the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
they should
who is it you
relegate
want us
them.
to be angry at, Wolfie?
Huh?
Who is it you want people to
I
be
think
angry at?
what Wolfie's saying is he wants the same energy that Forest were getting against them, and now we're like, oh, it's Chelsea, whatever. I think that's what he's saying.
Exactly. Like,
Because I think it was Chelsea from like 15 years ago.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm still pissed off at 1984 when Anderlecht cheated. I haven't had my justice for that.
I don't know
It
what you
still
want me to. I
happens.
don't know what you want me to be angry about.
It
So
still
hang on, let
happens.
me get this
No.
right. So Chelsea messed up and cheated. New owners came in and went, shit,
Admitted it.
the old owners cheated.
Told
We've
them.
admitted it. Who are we angry at exactly?
Chelsea.
Okay, and what's that going to achieve? What am
How
I
about we
angry
get
at?
angry at this whole two-tiering system where we're still waiting on 115, or is it 130? I can't keep up. We were told in March, that the decisions haven't all been done. They're reading through the documents to verify them all. My God, how slow do they read? Now we see that. Let's not forget Chelsea were criminals as well in Europe because
Sure.
they've been fined in Europe.
who you
They got
angry at?
suspended sentences. And then
So who
on
you
top
angry
of
at?
that, Chelsea have been doing dodgy dealings in the era where they were winning trophies. But yeah, let's
So who
glaze
you
over
angry at?
it.
I can't lie. I'm with
Chelsea.
Wolfie here. I'm with Wolfie.
Thank
here.
you, George.
All right,
Let's
cool.
have it
All right,
right.
we're angry
It was
at
during that
Chelsea.
same period.
Now what?
Now I'm gonna say Spurs won the league in 2017. That's what we did because Chelsea cheated.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah,
Chelsea cheated.
there you go.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
so we won the league.
Yeah.
We
So
won the
you
league.
should be
Sure.
angry, George, at
We
Chelsea
won the
for
league.
cheating in that period.
We won the league.
But it
man.
doesn't matter because we're doing some kind of statute of limitations here.
Now I'll be
Relegate
honest.
them.
This
Relegate
is like
them.
me finding out my ex from 10 years ago cheated on me. It's like if I found out about it now, would I be angry? Give a shit.
If you
Would
found
you?
out she shot someone, you'd be angry about it now. It depends the level of the
She
crime.
shot someone.
I don't know. Maybe that's why she's your ex. I don't know.
About?
But I'm just saying the level of the crime needs to dictate what's happened.
Okay, so but surely the fact that, but I've got nothing for Chelsea or against them here. The fact that the new owners came in and went, we found some irregularities here. We're owning up to it. What more do you want Chelsea to do? They're going to get fined. Their owners have what would you have done to them?
They might have looked in. They might have handed all their stuff in, so no one else had to look at anything else. That might have been.
Jamie, that with that
Okay,
4D
sure, but-
chest, with that 4D
Sure,
chest, I love
Jamie,
it.
but that's not what. Do you know what I mean? Like
It's not happened, yeah, but yeah. No.
like what is it you want to happen to them, Wolfie? Go on.
Relegate them. Relegate City as well.
Throw the book.
Hold the same standards.
So hang on, next year, City and Chelsea
How about
are
you
going to get
strip them
relegated,
of the
and
achievements they earned while
Arsenal are going
cheating?
down with them, but winning the Champions League.
Yeah, at least Arsenal will be honourable in the way they did it. At least they'll be honourable. How about you strip them of what they won while they were cheating to make a point that cheaters don't prosper?
Okay, so remove their trophies from that time frame.
But this is to do with the FA, not the Premier League.
I don't care who it's to do.
Two
Chelsea.
different orgs. So yeah, there's not a lot.
I Wolfie, man. Come on, Wolfie, man. Like I feel like we're being incredibly petty here, man. Like, look, if it was still Roman that was the owner, then I'd be like, all right, cool. But you can't really punish. I know it's still Chelsea, but it's a whole new.
Did they
set.
benefit from it, Hooks? Did they
It's a
benefit from it?
I don't know if this current crop of Chelsea benefited from it. Like,
No,
I don't know. I don't know if they did. Like, honestly, do you know what? When it comes to scenarios like this, yeah, I think of it from like a fan's perspective. Like, fans, like Chelsea fans, don't deserve for their team to get battered up. Do you know what I mean? Same way that the Man City fans don't deserve for their team to get battered, or anybody. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the sanction, like whatever happens to them, it needs to be something that impacts only like the owners.
What is this wokeness coming out your mouth, Hooks? I expect better from you. Seriously. That's like saying, oh, if my brother went to prison, they should find a way to get him to send him to prison so it doesn't impact me because I've done nothing wrong. It's still going to impact me indirectly, whatever.
Okay, Wolfie, do you know what it's like? Yeah, cool. If I go out, yeah, in a whip, yeah, and I'm there, cool, yeah, and I end up murking someone, but then I sell you the whip, yeah, and then the police should you ride the bird for me?
What the hell's that got to do? The crime ain't the whip, man.
We
The
are-
crime's the
we are
do.
We're going off here, man. We're going off.
You
We
got
are
to
going
use-
off
I
it.
just can't believe how softly everyone's being on it. I don't know. Maybe this is a Cartel 6 thing. I don't know, but at least I see George has some standards about it. But the rest of you are just so easy about it, honestly.
I think for me, if they've been found guilty, just like Manchester City, I think they should shut the book on personally.
Thank you.
And if that is the case, that's what should happen.
Yeah, you'd be
That's
punished,
for every
you'd be
club.
punished,
That's
yeah.
for every club. They should be punished, and the punishment should be the same. I think it should be a punishment, not just we'll give you a bit of a fine. I think points deductions is definitely the way forward. If people have definitely
Hey,
been found
But
guilty,
if you prove,
that's the way I see it.
if you admit your guilt, you always get a lenient sentence, don't you?
That's what they say. That's what they
You still
say.
get a sentence. You still get
But
a
you
sentence.
still get it. You still do. That's for sure.
Probation.
Let me we got last two super chats and I've got one final question before because I know everyone's got to go out of 5:30. So Akash says we'll never understand Spurs fans. They're part of the big six and constantly let themselves be dragged into useless debates by irrelevant Forest fans. Is he a Liverpool fan? He's got Mo Salah there, isn't he? Yeah.
And a Liverpool fan just paid to have a say on a Forest Spurs debate. Interesting.
There we go. Interesting. Big up for the super chat. Kenny says they did benefit from it though. They won 2 Premier Leagues.
Thank
we
you,
go.
Kenny. Thank
There
you.
we go. Okay, let me ask this last question, which is a bit of an interesting one. And I genuinely don't know where we're going to go with this one. Who's going to have the better season out of the following 2 players? Eberechi Eze or Florian Wirtz? Individually, not who's going to win what. Individually, who do you think will have the better season? I don't mind who comes in on that.
Jamie's got to start on that.
I have no idea because what is a better season? So
Okay, so what I mean by that is it has had more of an influence on their team. Goals, assists, one of the best players each week, creativity wise, team of the seasons, that kind of conversation.
interesting. So it's just I think Eze's a wonderful player. So is Wirtz. I think there's this thing now that a lot of people are pretending that Wirtz wasn't class and every club in Europe wanted him before Liverpool bought him in the summer, and then
I agree.
he's had 3 bad games. Everyone calls him a flop. Eze's also a quality player. Eze might have a bit more influence on Arsenal because, he's a player they might need more than Liverpool might needed Wirtz because Liverpool already won things with the players they got, and Liverpool got a lot more influence players at their football club that can get them over the line. So maybe Eze for that reason for Arsenal, if Arsenal to go on to win anything. If Liverpool win the league again, you got players there at Liverpool that won it the year before that may be more influenced than Wirtz anyway. So if Arsenal to win the league, maybe you could say Eze had the better season because of that. It's a difficult one to answer, especially only 3 games in. But yeah, I've got to stick with Wirtz because he's my guy, obviously, and yeah,
I'm gonna go Wirtz as well, just because I think Liverpool will have impact in more competitions than what Arsenal will, play a more attacking brand of football, and therefore he will be involved in more G&A throughout the course of the season, I think, and that's it.
Anyone
I
else?
think it all depends, right? Like for me, it really depends how Arteta uses Eze. But if I remove that factor, then we go off the assumption that both of them play the same amount of games, then I think Eze, just for the simple fact that he doesn't have to adjust to the league. Like he's already one of the better players in the league. He's just playing at a better team now, where he will probably have more GA. So if we're basing it on impact on GA and stuff like that, cool. But then I think everything else we need to wait till the end of the season to see which club wins more and who actually, because the thing is, Liverpool could win the Premier League and FA Cup, yeah, but Wirtz not really play too much of a role in them doing that. And Arsenal could win the Champions League. I just need the chat to know I said could, yeah, before people start saying, oh, Hooks went around saying Arsenal's going to win the Champions League. And Eze could have played a big part in not only getting Arsenal to the final, but scores the winning goal in the final. But Arsenal have won less trophies. So then, like, how do you measure? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it all depends on what the story is like at the end of the season.
Hooks, it's on the metrics, isn't it? It's on the metrics. Like, Wirtz, rightly or wrongly, will be tagged for his price tag.
yeah.
So the
Exactly.
expectation is already higher. for what Wirtz has to output than for Eze. Because you can have seasons. I remember Juninho was an absolute baller and Middlesbrough got relegated, but he was ridiculous. I remember David Ginola, George, was a baller for Spurs, but they won nothing in that season. So it's about how you perceive it. This is going to be very subjective. I think Eze has the bigger impact because I think Liverpool have more impact players that will spread the impact around throughout their team. But my biggest worry about Eze is that Arteta will misprofile him and shove him out on the left. That's my biggest worry. I still think he can play out on the left, but his best position will be more central.
Yeah, I think for me, Wirtz obviously has to have the better season because he's British transfer record, right? He can't have a poor season, does? I don't think he will.
Not no longer.
Oh, sorry, he is second now. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, sorry. I keep forgetting you did that in one window.
Pressure's off in there. Pressure's off.
Yeah, you can chill now. I do think he's unbelievable. By the way, people that are saying he's crap and all this now,
exactly.
They clearly haven't watched him. He's not crap. I think both players will actually do well, but I actually going to say I don't think either of these players will be the reason individually that the teams win it, because I actually think that Salah and Isak will probably have better seasons for Liverpool. Probably could put Van Dijk in there. I actually think if Saka stays fit, he'll be more important than Eze. You could argue that Gyökeres is the reason that we could get across the line. He could be more important than Eze. But the reason I brought these two up is because they've obviously been bought in a similar position. I could have brought in Ødegaard or Wirtz, but I think that's quite obvious who would have won that out of the two. And I just think that a lot of people are looking at Eze and saying that he could be massively key to our creativity. And I think Liverpool have brought in Wirtz for that reason too. And I just wanted to get an understanding from you guys where you're at. Sav, where are you at, bro?
I think first and foremost, Eze's got to establish himself in the 11 on Arsenal, right? I think Wirtz will do that or has done that.
He's a starter already. He's first team.
What, Eze?
Eze, yeah, he's first team.
From next week, hopefully, not this week.
Well, yeah. Look, first of all, he's got.
I don't know.
When we're saying his first team, we've got to see it. We've got no proof of that. We need to see for him to start every game for the season, right? I think he's got the used to the Premier League thing. I think Wirtz is playing in a better team, which makes it easier for him. But I think Wirtz is the better footballer. How do you judge it? Are you just judging it on GA? Are you judging it on big moments? I don't know. Listen, I'd love both in my team. Put it that way. I don't really have a strong opinion on it. I think they're both quality footballers, but Wirtz is special for me. Wirtz is a top player. And like Jamie said, I feel
with Wirtz. That's 58% on Wirtz.
Yeah. I think because Wirtz is the big money signing that goes in immediately and starts every game. The question is going to be at Arsenal. I still want to see it. Does Eze start every game? And if he does he start every game in the 10? Or does he start every game from the left? How does Arteta utilize him?
He'll be the left
on the left.
He'll be the left winger. I'm not going to go into this. I'm not going to go into the because people do this. They go into the semantics of, he's a 10, but they don't realize he's playing left 10. So playing left wing for Arsenal, he'll be covering the exact same spaces and areas that he covered.
I'm not so bothered about that. I want to see if he starts every game. I think he's going to have a really big impact for you. But I mean, let's be fair. Wirtz is in a better team, so we'll see.
Is he?
It's the style as well, isn't it?
Yes,
Style.
yes,
It's the style. If Eze was at Liverpool and Wirtz, would you be having the different conversation as well? Because the style as well is a big part, man.
60-40 in the chat, in the poll, sorry, should I say, in favour of Florian Wirtz. So if I'm honest with you, I probably would have edged just towards Florian Wirtz because individually I think he's unbelievable. However, I do think that Eze could have a really good season for Arsenal as well. So I think
Gyökeres is going to bomb, by the way, just putting it out there.
Oh, bomber right
now.
I just think he's going to bomb. I don't know.
As in, you don't think Arteta's good enough to get goals out of him?
Good bomb or bad bomb?
Bad bomb.
Like flop.
What kind of bomb is good, folks?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hey,
There's a lot being made about these 2 goals against Leeds as well, and he's going to kick on now, but he scored a penalty that was won by a dive, and the first goal, Strout was all over the shop. So I'm not sure.
Hey, Joe, remember we agreed.
Yeah, look, I think Ekitike is better than Gyökeres, personally.
Oh, please.
I would say so.
As an all-round player, 100%. 100% as an all-round player. 100%.
I'm just not convinced yet, and obviously I don't know. We'll see what we will see, but
Do
Joe,
you
how
think
long
he
do we
scores
give him?
goals?
Joe, how long do players like Gyökeres, again, I'm not sticking up for him, he's Arsenal, whatever, but how long do we give players? Because it seems like he's had like 3 Premier League games and already.
That's all I need, man. Look, it's all.
Jamie, what did you just say earlier? What did Jamie just say earlier about Wirtz? Apparently.
It's all you need, man.
No, just
I think you can tell a footballer how good a footballer is straight away at times. And Gyökeres
we mustn't forget
is not a good footballer.
how old is he now?
28,
27.
28, and he's only just coming to the Premier League now after being
He's
the
26.
Championship.
He's not 28.
After being in the Championship, doing it in Portugal like Darwin Núñez did, and now
Darwin Núñez didn't score as many goals as him
No,
consistently.
I'm just saying. Listen, I'm just not
He also
convinced
scored
yet.
goals in the
But
Champions.
Joe, for every example of that I can give you, and you're not going to like it, Chris Wood. Chris Wood was utter shit at Forest when he first joined. And then as soon as Nuno came in and it suited Chris Wood's strength,
So
20
maybe it is
goals
the
last
manager,
season,
maybe.
14 goals the season before. So,
could be the manager, yeah.
you know, some of these players are like wine. They get better with age.
It's
some
the,
get
man-
worse
it's
with
the
age.
manager for me. Obviously, everyone thinks I'm going to say that. I am going to say that. I think the manager has not set this up well enough to be looking at Gyökeres fairly at all. When a guy scores 100 goals in 2 seasons and then we're saying this guy's a flop in 3 games when he scored 2 and 3. Ekatike's got 2 and 3, I think. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what we're doing here. Like, I think we need to give him a little bit more
We're
time.
judging players way too
Why-
quickly.
why did-
Yeah.
Agreed.
Joe, why did Arsenal sign Victor Gyökeres to score goals?
Exactly.
In 3 games, he scored 2 goals. What more can I want from him?
Come on, one was a penalty.
What more can I want from him? Yeah, but we didn't. But the thing is, I don't, barring the last game against Liverpool, which, yeah, cool, they won it, but it was from a wonder free kick. If that doesn't happen, it's 0-0. Yeah. I don't struggle against the big teams. Gyökeres is a flat track bully. He will bad up the
this is
score team.
fact.
This is why we signed him. Because
Do you want a flat track bully as your main striker?
I want a striker who, more often than not, when he has the ball in the box, he scores. That's what I want.
I'll add to this as well quickly. Yeah, I didn't expect Gyökeres to rock up at Anfield and Old Trafford and go hat trick, 9 and 3, brilliant. I just didn't expect that personally. That's just my opinion. I think he's a good striker, and I think the attack under Arteta is poor, and I think the manager is the reason.
If you could start again, would you take Isak or Gyökeres?
Gyökeres.
Hooks wanted Gyökeres. I've always wanted Isak as my number 1, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I wanted Gyökeres after I knew Isak wasn't coming, absolutely.
Yeah, that's false equivalency, Jamie.
Yeah.
Joe said Gyökeres is going to be crap, not in relation or comparison to Isak. He's
No,
just
what
saying
I'm
he's
trying to
gonna
say,
bomb up.
so I keep hearing this a lot about Gyökeres being a flat track bully, yeah? And if Arsenal want to win all the biggest trophies, I think you need a striker that's better than a flat track bully.
You need a striker that scores goals.
If that
Exactly.
makes sense. If that makes
So
sense.
shouldn't we
What
give
if
him
Arsenal been
the
missing for
season
4
to
years?
see if he
I'm just
is a
going from
flat
the
track
point of someone saying
Right.
about a flat, but I didn't
No,
mention flat track bully. The Arsenal fans.
No, I
did.
know
That's
you
what I'm
didn't.
trying to say.
I know
Yeah.
you didn't, Jamie. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
shouldn't we listen? And bear in mind, I'd love to sit here as a Spurs fan and go, God, this guy's shit. But if we're gonna, can you imagine if every single Premier League player was judged after 3 games in the league? Right?
Exactly.
How many greats would we have written off early doors and they would have gone? Now, I'm not saying Gyökeres will be a great. But if
Henry.
you get to the end of the season and Gyökeres has banged in 20 Premier League goals, this conversation just looks silly, doesn't it? From the point of view of everyone wrote him off after 3 games.
I can understand why Joe might say I'm not convinced and I need to see more. That's absolutely fine. But I think people say he's going to be a flop. It's obvious.
Is it the manager then?
Joe's doing the YouTube thing.
Is it the manager then?
Sava would
Because
say.
you do hear a lot about this. You do hear a lot about the Gyökeres stuff, right? Is it just because it looks like the manager ain't setting it up in a way?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Gyökeres, maybe
What do you
it's
think?
that.
That's what I
Fair
think.
enough.
I think maybe Gyökeres has got to get used to Arsenal. Arsenal have got to get used to Gyökeres. Arsenal for a few years haven't played with an out-and-out striker, right? So if you bring an out-and-out striker in, and then we all expect that after 2 or 3 weeks in pre-season, suddenly Arsenal are going to click and this guy's, give him.
And as well, I know you're saying 2 and 3. Oh, one of them was a penalty, and I get that. And it was 2 of them against Leeds, and like Leeds are crap and all this rubbish. But let's really
here we go. Calm down, because I've come for Gyökeres, Dan.
No. I wasn't actually pointing that at you, actually, Joe. Funny enough, a lot of people have said, "Oh, you can't." A lot of people have said that Leeds are crap, but calm down. That's what a lot of people told me. It's 5-0. Who cares? 5-0. Leeds are crap. So, and that wasn't actually a dig at you, right? But if you're going to bring up my boy, then I'm going to come for you. Do you know what I'm saying? But no, like for me, Haaland, the only player that has scored more than Gyökeres in the Premier League is Haaland, right? So I'm not going to sit, and he's got 3. He's got 1 more goal on him. I think 3 games, maybe we need to see a bit more. I personally feel like the way we've set up and the way that we've played, it hasn't provided enough creativity or chances for Gyökeres in front of goal. If he was going through 1-on-1, missing everything and hitting barn doors, he should have done better in the one against Leeds. He took that too quickly. He didn't realise he had the amount of time that he did. Other than that, I think he hasn't really had any chances go through 1 and goal, in my opinion, to look at flopping or missing. So I'm going to give him some more time.
20 goals, though, from some takes, and I'm not convinced.
Yeah, but Joe, if I remember back, I don't think Bergkamp scored in his first 5 games when he joined Arsenal. Like, I mean, he'd be sitting here writing off.
9 games, Thierry Henry. Yeah, 9 games without a goal, Thierry Henry.
So we're putting Gyökeres in Henry and Bergkamp.
No. I'm giving you
that's all I heard there. Gyökeres is the next Henry and Bergkamp.
No, what I'm saying is you would be sitting here writing off Bergkamp by your same logic, because he hadn't
but it's
scored in the first
2025 now. Football's changed and takes have changed. We can watch a player after half an hour and be like, he's shy. It just, that's 2025. It's
the YouTube thing. The YouTube thing.
But let's remember, Joe didn't like Calvert-Lewin, and now he thinks he's making the World Cup. So
100%.
I honestly don't think a striker makes a bit of difference to Arsenal while Arteta's still at your football club.
That's fair, Jay. I agree with you.
Dan, can I say somebody's an absolute
I've got to close because I know you've got a Joe, but go on, Sav, go on.
Just really quickly, Wizzle in your chat has put it spot on for me. And forget Gyökeres, that can go for any striker. That's it. If you get to the stage where 10 games in, let's look at 10 Premier League games. If Gyökeres is missing chance after chance after chance for you guys, then have the conversation.
Yeah.
If you get 10 games in and this guy has not been created chances for, now you've got to have the conversation about Arteta.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think after 3 games, one of which was against Virgil van Dijk and Konate, I don't feel like... Sorry, you've played at Anfield and Old Trafford, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So far.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like give the guy 10, 15. I think he'll score a hatful. I disagree with Joe. I think he'll score loads.
Hey, Sava, it's not okay to call Wirtz a flop after 3 games, but it's okay to call Gyökeres a flop.
Exactly.
Hey, I'd say Wirtz has flopped after 3 games, man.
Hey, man.
Are you calling him a flop?
I will just lastly say as well, what I find hilarious is that on the overlaps, goals and all that. Oh, this Gyökeres looks like he's wearing jeans. And then you got Benjamin Sesko taking the number 10 penalty for Grimsby behind Harry Maguire. No one says anything. It's all about that.
Embarrassing.
There we go. Embarrassing. Let me do this last super and then we are going to close because I know you've got shows. Sean says on the Chelsea charges, just because the owner's changed, it should not change anything. Otherwise, clubs can cheat and then just sell the club. Fair play. I think Wolfie was basically saying that, really. But there we go. Look, man, we're going to send you over to Wolfie's channel now, where he's got a great panel. So make sure that you are joining him. Big up to George. Make sure you're following George Durag Diaries. Make sure you're following Hooks, Halftime Hooks. Make sure you're following Jamie Phillips as well on YouTube. Jamie Phillips Football Chats. And of course, we've got Football Heritage TV with Sava, Just Joe with Joe Leeds, and Wolfie on Forest Fan TV, where you're going now. So go show some love. Big up to everyone that's here, super chatted, and go and show Wolfie some love and spam Big Ange. We'll see you next time. We're out.